What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another drawing tutorial. So we got another one of our versus series. We've got All Might versus All for One. So white page, landscape orientation. Definitely use a pencil for this because we've got two characters and they're locked. So 4 hands to draw. So hands are tricky. Always remember, artists used to charge extra for drawing hands. So in the Renaissance sort of era. So take your time, hit pause a lot if I go too fast. So All Might's coming in from the right hand corner, so they're not level with one another. All Might's sort of higher up. All for One is down here. His head is sort of down here, but their fists are locking kind of here. So we're just going to start with All Might, and he's just here. This is about the center line of my page, and the center point, like bang in the middle, is just here. And All Might's head, his nose, is just across, a little bit across from there, right? So the point for his nose is just across from the center point of the page, to the right a little bit, okay? So his nose is just like an L shape. So let's go. So we're going to go diagonal, down like so, and then that L sort of shape comes back into there. So this then will come back up to his nostril a little bit, just back up in here, about into there. And we'll have a sort of a dark section sort of in here for where his nostril is, just like that. Now, so from the bottom of his nose, we have his top lip, right? So right from where the L ends and goes up towards his nostril, we have another diagonal line for his top lip. So it's going to go like this way, okay? And then this is going to come around, so he's gritting his teeth. This is going to curve over to there. So quite a big mouth. And then the bottom lip, so it's gonna come, let's go back down here and we'll come over this way. So starting like this, and then it's gonna wrap around, come up like so, and then we sort of a bump for his teeth that kind of stick out just here, like that. So his teeth kind of, the line for his top teeth kind of come out beyond the line for his bottom lip, like that. And then we have a line sort of for some of his back teeth. So from across from this line, we'll bring it back into there. Now, if you wanted to keep it really simple, you could just leave it like that. Or you could add a bit more detail for the teeth. So you could add a curved line here, and maybe some sharp pointy bits just here, if you wanted. Not necessary though. Just a bit more detail for his teeth. Okay, so his outside sort of lip and chin. So we go out. This is like his skin now for his lip. This is the inside line for the whites of his teeth. And then we have the line on the outside. So we go diagonal down, back in, kind of goes like a lightning line, back down to there. So see, like a little, it's like Harry Potter's scar. You're a wizard, All Might. Right, so his chin then will go diagonal this way, like that. So it stops at about the line for his teeth there, maybe a little over halfway across his mouth, just below that. And then we'll bring this across up to his jaw. So his jawbone is right across from his mouth, and then we bring it up towards his ear, just to there. So All Might, he's in sort of 3/4 pose, like a slight 3/4 pose, which means we can see just a little bit of his cheek on this side and the other side of the nose. So what we can see is like a little bit of his cheek sticking out here. And then this is going to go diagonal up to his brow, this way. And then this will change direction and go up to his hairline. So it'll go this way. And his hairline is just here, so it's like zigzag lines going down to the center point, which is about, say, here. So, right, so like he's frowning pretty heavily. So we've got some, say, deep dark sections coming down around his eye and his eyebrow. So his eyebrow is like in here. Tip of his nose, let's just draw it in. It'll probably be colored in black anyway, but we might as well color it in. So just above the tip of his nose, say. So like up here, beside that cheek, we have like a triangle here, or an arrow sort of pointing up. And then above that, we have another line, another sort of pointing up sort of arrow, like this. And like all in here is going to be black anyway, so don't worry about too much of that. So his eyebrow is going to kind of come out from this one. So we're going to curve it up to the pointy end of his eyebrow, okay? So we're going to go this way. Like so first. And this comes up to his eyebrow, which curves up this way. So like there. Okay. So then the top of his eyebrow then comes back down like so into there. And then we have like eyebrow lines. So like the lines for the hairs on his eyebrow. Gonna go like this. Like so. And then the black section of his eye. So it's just underneath. Comes up real pointy at the end. Nearly touches like the top of his eyebrow just there. But then it'll come back down underneath. Around like so. And then we will bring it back in like this. And we have a line underneath. So remember, in here's all black, but I'll draw in all the black sections first and then I can color them in all at the same time. And then this black line is going to continue, so it's going to go around like so and up towards his nose, up into here where we drew that top of his nose, just there like that. And then he might have a wrinkle or two on the side of his nose, just to show his nostril and that he's sort of clenching his face real hard. And then, so this is all shadow, and then this shadow extends up the side of his head. So it's going to come down from his hairline, down like so, into here. We might have some area of his other eyebrow that we can see, so we'll draw around that. So we'll draw a sort of like this. So this might be like his other eyebrow, the start of it, with a line up the middle like that. So there's more black sections over here, so I'll just draw them in first and then I'll color them all in. So his hairline is going to extend back from this middle point. So it's going to go sort of zigzag back like this, adding sort of spikes and zigzags coming down to about here. So we're beyond his eyebrow now, just here. You'll notice that the edge of his mouth kind of lines up with the edge of his eyebrow as well. And then go towards his sideburn, just down here. And his sideburn is just like a spike or a V, just there. And this is going to go around his ear, so his ear is going to be in here. And his ear lines up with his eyebrow, top of it, just there. And then this comes down, back into his jaw. And his earlobe will line up with his nostril, just there. So then ear ligaments, bones and stuff inside the ear, like this. Curved line there, and then you can add a bit more detail, like so. And then maybe some lines coming down from his sideburn, and maybe some on his jaw, just here, some hatching lines. So there's some lines around his mouth as well, so just some sort of flexed sort of cheek lines. And let's see, so we have, say, one beside his nose, beside his nostril here. So this is going to go to there, and then it'll come down like so. And then it'll come around his mouth, just here, like that. And then you might have another line kind of behind that, just there. So these are all just like skin wrinkles around his mouth. And like another one, say, here. And then one coming up this way for his jaw. And this is kind of all in dark shadow. So this kind of comes up around his mouth, just there. And then we bring it up like this. Into there. Maybe a couple of hatching lines at the top of it. Maybe one there. And the other side. Come down, back into here. So that's all dark black inside as well. And then the black section on his lip here. So we have a line just for the bottom lip, just here. Like so. And then the black section, the shadow, is just here. This comes up to there. Maybe a couple other sort of lines for his chin. And another sort of line maybe here as well. And then we have a couple of shadow lines coming up his forehead as well. So like a lot of sort of, you know, like frown lines and stuff. So like coming this way, line coming up here, another one there. Coming down from, say, his hair there. So he's real intense, lots of frown lines. Another section here. Another small section in there. Maybe some lines coming up from his eyebrow. And this is dark black in there. Right, so I'll go ahead and color these black now. Okay, so that is all the main dark sections. So we'll do the rest of his hair. So we have those big spikes that come up from the center of his head here. So it comes right along that center line, just here. Comes up around to here, comes right up to about here. So it goes off the top of my page, and then you could stop it there and bring it in, or you can keep it going. So it's up to you. But the other side should come into here, and then we have a part sticking off here, and then bring it back like so, and then bring it right back into this point here. And then we add some lines on it, so some like texture lines, hair lines. And of course some of these have deep dark shadow on them as well. So like coming up from here, say. Could have a section of shadow. Coming up like that, and maybe a little bit thicker line just up here, maybe on the edge. You can do that lots of different ways anyway. Something like that. And then the other one, so we have, so that, and then, right, we might have like a couple of little ones in the middle, just here. Going back up this way. And then a large one that sort of goes back this way. Real far. Like so. And that is going to come back in like that. And I might have another spike out here. Go back in. And come right down to the center point of his head again. Down to there. And of course this has hairlines and texture lines all over as well. So say like here. And some of these, of course, will be black. Okay, so the hair for the rest of his head, so the rest kind of slicks back, goes down this way. So it comes out from this side, the other side of his forehead there, and it's gonna travel around the back of his hair spikes here. So it's gonna come like out like this, and it's gonna come around his skull. So it'll come around like here. Bumping every now and then. Okay. And then at the back, we have these hair spikes that stick out and go all the way back into his ear. Okay. So, say like this. One like so. Stick out like so. Back to there. Back out like that. Back in. Another one sticking out there. Small one. Again. And back under to his ear. So then these will have like some dark shadows and stuff on them as well. There's actually another one here. So that's the thing about drawing All Might. There's loads of these deep dark shadows. Okay, so let's see. So we have like, say, some texture hairlines just here. Say one coming down that way. Another one, say, here. One coming out from there. Back in. Back out to there. And then we have some coming from his hairline. Some of these might be actually quite dark inside. Kind of like that one. So adding just these spikes down here, and like all around these are dark black. So just drawing in the shadows. Say like another line there. And some more here. So these are all dark black. In here is dark black. Okay, so let's see, we have like a big section of fist right here, right under All Might's chin. So his forearm comes across here, and then his back muscles are here. So we'll do his back muscles first, right? So you just have like two sort of bumping lines coming across the back of his head just here. So bump here, like this. And then the next one sort of comes out from here. To there. So then his forearm, comes right across here. Like this. So his elbow's off back here, off my page. And then this is going to come along underneath his chin. Like that. And then it'll kind of bump a little bit here for his wrist. And then come out for the top of his hand, just there. Okay, so it stops like right underneath his nostril there, the edge of his nostril, or the end of his eyebrow. Just there. That's where All for One's hand is going to start. Okay. Right, so we'll do like the end of his sleeve. So like those golden arrows that kind of, you know, the blue and gold that are on the end. So just here at his wrist, comes out like so. It's going to come this way. Like that. And then the rest of his arm will travel back this way. So real big arm. So I know that looks like monstrous, but it's so big because like this hand is closest to us, right? So imagine there's like a camera here and this hand is like right close up. So the bottom of the hand comes out from here, comes down, across, and we can see just a little bit of his little finger just here. Okay. And then there's more of those arrows on his costume. Kind of like that. How many is there? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So then this is going to go like so. And then one more. Is there 1, 2, 3, 4? One more. Yeah. That. And there might be like some hatching lines just for his forearm muscle going like this way. So again, forced perspective, that's what we're seeing here. Really big arm, massive, bigger than his head nearly, same size. Actually same size as his head. Same length anyway. Because this hand is closest to the camera and this hand is smaller because it's further away. So before we deal with all this, I'll just finish the bits we can see of his body, right? So his neck and his chest muscles on the other side. So we can see sort of a line for his Adam's apple, just kind of in here. Most of this is in shadow as well. And then we have a curved line for the opposite side of his chest, just there. And then some neck muscle lines. So coming out from his ear here, we have like a neck muscle line. Then another one just coming from his jaw, question mark, just here. Then another one back here going into his ear section, just there. And then his shoulder is just here. So curved line for his shoulder, like so. So then this comes up around and goes in. It should go into his forearm. So like here. Goes underneath his hair and comes back out that way. Okay, and then maybe another bump just here. So we have some dark black shadow in here. So coming up around his Adam's apple, up under his jaw. To here, and then coming down from his ear, down like that, and then kind of in behind here. So we have actually a collar as well, somewhere here. So curves to there, and then it's going to like come all across his bump across his neck muscles here. Come down like this, and you can just see another. It's like a double line underneath, like so. Unders to there, and then this is dark black here in here. So dark black, right? I'll color them in. So. And then we have some dark black shadows on his shoulder muscle just here. So they kind of have spikes on them. And then there's some shadow back here as well. And just a little bit up here too. And then he has some of those navy blue sort of, not navy, sorry, they're red, aren't they? Just strips, just here. So one in there. And then some on his back, I think, as well. Should be anyway. And we have a shadow on his hand and his wrist here. Okay. Now, the other arm comes out just up here. So it's going to come out like so. And then we're going to bring it down towards All for One's hand. So it's going to come down that way first. It's going to come across like that as well. And we're going to meet the wrist bone again. So we're going to do a little bump just there. And then we're going to do the top of the hand. To about there. Pretty much like this one, except it's much smaller now. So the other side of his forearm is going to come out from his brow just here. Come across to there. And then we have some more of those straps but they're not arrows because the arrows are on the other side. So because this arm is like, we're looking at it at just the side of this wrist, okay, on the inside. So we can just see these curved lines. Like this. Like so, and then there's some shadow in here. Now, so like this one, his fist comes out like this. So we have, except we're on the other side now. So we can see his little finger on this hand, and we can see his thumb on this hand. So we go down, back across, down, into there. So this is going to meet All for One's thumb, okay? So we'll do All for One's fingers now, and we might as well stay over here and just get them done first. So, right, so we'll do one finger at a time. So, curve it around like so first. This comes up to the top knuckle. Come across. Come down. Back down to here. And then bump out for a knuckle. Then the inside of the finger, so we have a fold here, a fold here, and then this is going to go in behind his next finger. So the next finger comes across like so, and then comes out to the tip of his finger here, and then we're going to bring this down, bump it sort of down to show the bumps of his hand. And this is going to bump down like that. The outside of this finger is just here. Comes out for a knuckle. Down to there. And we can see just a little bit of fingernail just there. And a little bit of fingernail here. And then there's like, you know, knuckle lines, sort of detail lines on his fingers there. Like that. So then his thumb, so kind of starting here, so we have a bump line, comes up around to there, comes back down, like so, comes back in, and you can see just a bit of his thumbnail there, and then this comes down, back up, and into his wrist. Then the other side of his wrist is up here, so connects to this finger. You can see kind of lines for the back of his hand just there, and then his wrist just there. And then there could be like knuckle lines just here, some stress lines for his hand, and we can just see a little bit of this finger hidden back here, just a tiny little bit. And then we can see All Might's fingers sort of wrapped up in a clenched fist. So in here, details inside here. So his thumb, bump line there, comes up like so, and it's like it's closed around like this. So we got that's his thumb, wraps around, it goes into his index, which goes into the middle of his hand. So these lines come up this way, like that, and they kind of start to wrap around now for his index finger, like in there. And then we have another sort of bump line here, And a lot of shadow, so we can just see the top of his index finger just in here, but it's kind of wrapped up in a lot of shadow, so most of this is black. And then maybe like a knuckle line or something just up here. Some lines for his hand, maybe some hatching lines there, like that. Okay, so the other hand for All for One, just up here, much bigger now, same sort of thing. So, curved line for his index finger, like that. This comes up to a knuckle, comes back down, changes angle. This goes down, goes in behind the next finger. So the tip of the next finger is here. I'll do all the tops first. So 1, 2, 3, and the little finger 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, so we have the knuckle for this one. Comes out just here. Comes up this way. And then bends down into here. And then the back of the other finger comes down in behind. Just there. So now the bottom of this finger, so wrap around, bump around to there. Another bump there. If you look at your own fingers, you can see all these bumps on the fingers. 1, 2, 3. And then another one just here, like that. So that goes in there. Then we have some fingernails, of course, like one here, one here. Some knuckle lines as well. Kind of like that. And next finger comes out, down like so. Goes in front of this one. This one comes back down to there. Next one in like so. Next section, bump into there. Knuckle lines again. Like that. So little finger then, kind of bending a bit more. More pressure on the little finger down here. So it's like bending it, like I can't even do it. So it's like warped kind of. And then this bump line here, bump line into there. And then we can see just it joining that finger there. And then this goes out, back down. About there, and then this will go in like so. And some more knuckle lines, just like here, here, and then little fingernail. There, and then one here as well. And then the back of his hand just here, coming down from his middle finger, coming down into there. And then his wrist will go in, and then his sleeve of his shirt goes just off my page, can't fit it in. And then the rest of his other side of his hand goes down off my page that way. And then some like lines for knuckles and stuff, just here. And one going this way. Like so. And then All Might has some knuckle lines. So one, say here, one coming up at All for One's little finger, and then going back this way, and then another long one going back this way, then a shorter one here, and then a long one again, shorter one coming out there, short one here, maybe this coming down that way as well, and then this coming back to there, back maybe in another one, then a long one here, and some short ones like so. Maybe some like hatching lines just here, that side of his fist, and there. Okay, I think that is the best I can do with the hands. Not bad. Okay, I've seen worse. So, All for One's wrist goes into his head up here, and this wrist goes off my page. So this comes down, curves around, and then this will go down and off my page that way. Just that wrist. So this wrist, so we have sleeve, so just a curve line back like that. Next one comes back to here, and then this will come back, and we won't go all the way because it's going to touch his head. This goes back like that. Okay, this one goes back further because his head curves that way. So he's got that mask on, right? So it's pretty simple to draw. You just curve it like so first, and then it kind of bumps out here, and then it's going to come back down to about there, and then it's going to come back this way, up, down, like so. And this is going to go around, and it's going to start touching all those tubes that are at the back of his head. Okay, that's the easy part. So the hard part is like all the shadows on him and all those tubes, right? So we have, say we'll start with the one back here. So one tube here, like so. This comes up to there, for the line around, and then this kind of curves around this pipe that's here. And this pipe comes up. You can use a ruler for these if you want, but I'll just freehand it because it's quicker. Then we go up like so. And then we go diagonal into there, diagonal into there, and then like so. And then these have some curved lines on them, just there, and a kind of a black line up the center of them, like that. And of course there's 3 of these, and they come to spikes on his head. So we have the end that goes into the spike first. So this spike is like diagonal, box like that. And then this is going to curve for the shape of his head first like that. So they're like claws or nails, kind of spiky like this. And they're kind of 3D looking. So we have to go back to there. And then this one comes back to here. So these go around his head, around the top of his head. And we're sort of, All Might's coming in, we're looking down on him, on All for One. so we can see kind of the tops of them. So the next one is just above it. So just like here. And then it kind of spikes back to there. And then we make it kind of like a box. Like that. And give it a bit of a 3D edge. So follow that line again. Go down to there and then join those corners. And the last one goes right behind, touches the end of his head here. So this comes up like so. Bring it down. And then down to here. And then this is going to go back like so. And we give it maybe a little bit of a 3D sort of thing going on, but not much because we can't really see much of the other side because it's going around his head. And then we'll do the rest of those pipes. So, well done to anyone who has followed this far. Y'all have been asking for harder and harder drawings, and I hope they're like helping, because this is super sort of difficult, advanced type stuff. So this comes back this way. Definitely use a pencil for this, by the way. A lot of rubbing out. Go down. One pipe. The bottom of the pipe, back that way. Down. Back down to there. And then we have the other cylinder, like this, behind here. So it first sort of bumps around here. Then we have the circular part, and then it's going to go down like so. And then we have the curved lines on all the pipes and the line up the middle. And then we can kind of see the top of his head, top of his mask, kind of comes down this way. Like there. And then we can see more pipe. So these are obviously the pipes that like keep him alive or something. He's a real Darth Vader kind of character. Kind of cool design. You want to sort of see what he's like. I have a drawn tutorial of him just from the front. Much easier than this, obviously. Right, so inside this skull-like mask, there's all dark black shadows, like All Might. So we got to draw those in as well. Well, you don't have to, but you won't see his eyes or anything like that, so it won't make sense. So say like the eye part, so like here. Do you know? So just so we can like make out. So these sections are all like really dark black or dark grey. It's up to you what way you want to colour them, of course. But it's like a shiny leather mask, so they should be black, I guess. So like, I mean, don't worry too much. Like, the only one you gotta sort of get right is the eye one. The rest kind of just go back in a sort of a camouflage kind of pattern. Just all the way back like this, kind of these bubbles, and you don't worry if yours aren't exactly like mine, of course. Because I'm not even copying the picture I'm drawing from exactly, I'm just kind of making them up. But once you get the effect, it's all good. So these are all black, right? I'll just mark them with an X, and I'll do them after, because the video is too long as it is, and I'll just do these black afterwards. Now, so he's got all pipes, three layers of pipes again, coming around his shoulder, just here. So they come out from his collar, so his collar is just like here. Comes up like this, comes down around the underneath part of his mask, goes back in underneath the back of his head, and it's kind of got an edge to it. So another line, follow that line again, up around into here. And then the pipes come out from the front. So curved line like this for where the pipe comes out. And then this comes out. Now you can use a ruler for this. It's quicker for me to just draw it freehand, so it mightn't be super straight, but they go out like this to a corner, curve around, go off that way straight. So I'll draw the 3 corners on each side and then we can join them up. I might do a ruler, who knows. So another corner going this way and another corner going this way. And they have some inside lines just here, going off like so. Another inside line here, going off that way. Okay, so yeah, and then I'll do the back. So let's see. So coming out like this, meets this corner and comes out like that. So that one joins to there, and then this one comes out like that, and then this will travel off that way, I think. And the next one behind that one comes off that way, and I can see just a little bit of this one. Thought I could fit them all in, but I can only see the end of that one, so it'll go off my page. Right, I'm actually going to use a ruler. Okay, so something like that. And then they have curved lines on the corners. And then some shiny lines going up the middle. So line that way. There. And then some here, here, and then going up the middle. Like so. And then we can just fill in the rest of his collar and his suit, and maybe some lines for like his shoulder. So like say one, the other side of his body just here. Maybe another line going that way. Going off this way. So like his back and stuff. And then the rest of his collar sort of comes in underneath these pipes. So you can see kind of the other side of it sticking out here. And then it goes in around his mouth. Just there. And then we can see like something in here. Like that's actually dark black inside. I'll just do that one black. And I think back here should be dark as well. And then there's some lines just for the back of his suit jacket, I think, just here, coming down the back. And then some of his like shoulder inside the middle of the pipe here. And then, so he's wearing a suit, so you can see just the collar of it just here. And the front kind of, there's like a V there. And then it comes down like so. And then the other side of his jacket. Like that. So that's like, you know, those edges of his suit jacket kind of thing. Like there. And maybe like some more sort of folds for his shoulder. Oh, and there's these circles on his collar here. Like a section with all these circles inside. This has a double edge. Circle there. Something like that. Okay. think c'est fini. In there's all black. Oh, I might as well do it. Okay. Sorry, not done yet. I can't help myself. I'll finish it this way. Okay. Now, that's how to draw All for One versus All Might. Hope it was helpful, guys. Well done to anyone who was able to follow that. I'll see you in the next video.